So we're going to install a Heaven and Earth Patterns soil broadcaster, which pairs with an antenna, and we're going to go through the installation of both of those pieces of equipment. What we're going to need here is I have my antenna. I'm using the CW2 Plus model with the crystal oscillator. I have it on a mast-to-mast mount. The antenna is already in the mount. My insulated wire to connect the two devices. And our Heaven and Earth Patterns soil broadcaster. This is a soil only broadcaster that will go in the ground up to here, as you will see, and will connect to our antenna right here. This is our anode point here in the circuit. These are circuited well broadcasters, meaning we will place reagents in the wells as such after we get it installed. So let's get to it. So first thing we're going to do here, we have our pole set in the ground and our hole or post hole dug below for our broadcaster, and we'll look at that in a second. First thing I'm going to do is mount the antenna up here on the pole to the other side of the mast-to-mast mount. And at this point I have a really good idea about the angle of south here on this property, so I'll double check that with the compass afterwards and you can adjust it. So the antenna is now mounted, and we'll step down here to connect the broadcaster. Okay, so we've got our antenna up, we've got our Heaven and Earth Patterns soil broadcaster. This is the broadcast coil down in the lower section here that will be going in the soil, about 20 inches there in that post hole. And then we'll be putting our inputs in the input well. And the cool thing about this setup is that by using the antenna with the broadcaster, we have a much greater potential difference than we could have if the broadcaster was, the higher we go, the better. So the higher you mount this antenna and connect to the broadcaster, the more power the broadcaster will have. So we're going to put the broadcaster down just like that, and making sure that this copper plate on the bottom is making contact with the soil. Nice ground connection there. And it'll just sit there like so. Then we'll backfill it with dirt up to here, right below the decal. Okay, so we've got our antenna up, we've got our broadcaster in the ground, and now we're just going to simply connect them with this insulated wire. There's one. Fully connected, fully powered, ready to go. We can look at it here. Cathode to the anode on the bottom of the broadcaster. Now we can load up our reagent well. We're going to put our field map in. Very important when broadcasting. This allows you to choose where these patterns are broadcasted to. And in this case, since we already have a broadcaster broadcasting general vitality and general remedies and amendments for the whole farm, we're going to exclusively broadcast this soil broadcaster to this 100 by 30 foot greenhouse that it's right next to. So this will be a good way for us to get some delineation. So we have our full intended coverage area, do no harm, a date, specifically what this broadcaster is intended to do and where it is intended to affect. Otherwise, the effects of the broadcaster will bleed out far past your farm, which is fine, but we want to concentrate our effects here. We're going to include a Johnson grass weed pepper reagent to try to control the Johnson grass coming up. We're going to include a piece of selenite for a gypsum pattern to the soil. And we're going to do 2 rate cards, a negative ions card and a vibrational lifter card in there as well. And we can seal all that up nicely. It's all siliconed in internally. Nothing will leak. Seal this up. Now we are broadcasting those patterns to this space right behind us here where we're going to plant fall crops very shortly. Just cleared it out. Anyways, that's an installation of a Heaven and Earth Patterns field broadcaster for the soil with a CW2 Plus antenna. Lots of love to everybody.